Washington Senator Richard Southern joins us now. And Richard, with legalization just 3 months away, a new report finds Torontonians smoke a lot of marijuana.
Yeah, Environics doing a big report into this, Christina, and they found that Torontonians smoke the equivalent of 141.7 million joints a year. You stack those end to end, it would be about 2,000 CN tower lengths worth. Now, it found as well, pot is most popular here in Toronto among young singles, 19 to 35 years old, living in high-rise apartments. Toronto pays on average $7.67 per gram, a little bit more than the national average. 29% of the country has tried the drug at some point. 54% in Toronto think that cannabis will have a negative effect. Overall, Christina, Environics found that the market for legal cannabis will be worth about $3.9 billion per year.
Wow, that's a lot of pot. Now, what a difference 6 years makes in the Toronto housing market. Richard, you have a surprising statistics about just how much prices have risen.
Yeah, it's going to make you shake your head. Over the past 6 years, Christina, the price of a condo is now equal what a house is. So basically, you could have bought a detached house 6 years ago for what a condo costs today. Unbelievable. So look at that. June 2012, your average condo, $322,000. Now the average condo in the city above $561,000, and the average detached house, $1.1 million. So again, the price of a detached house 6 years ago is what a condo was worth now, and the Toronto housing market, Christina, showing signs of heating up again. Sales higher by 17% over last month. So here we go again with a big upswing in the market.
Bad news if you're looking for a house. Automakers and union leaders were in Washington today trying to persuade the U.S. government not to slap tariffs on the auto sector. Yeah, the Trump administration has repeatedly threatened to put a 25% tariff on the import of cars and auto parts going into the United States. Could have a devastating effect on the Canadian auto industry. They had hearings today, hearing from the big automakers who, of course, are very much against this. I talked to Jerry Diaz, president of Unifor, the big auto union. I asked him, what are you going to do if Trump pulls the trigger on these auto tariffs?
We're going to have to retaliate. There's no way we can just take Donald Trump jeopardizing Canada's #1 industry and do absolutely nothing about it. So we need to retaliate. But then we also need to take a deeper dive on what it'll take to really get his attention. And I would suggest what the United States needs most from Canada is our water, our oil, our energy. So I think we need to start talking about how we turn off the tap.
And Christina, the head of Unifor, also telling me that if there's a tit-for-tat trade war in the auto sector, it could actually lead to the bankruptcy of some of the biggest automakers. So this is certainly a big story we'll continue to keep an eye on. Next story could be a good story, depending on what type of day you're having. A new study says being in a bad mood can be a positive at the office. We're in a good mood, though, right, Christina? Always, always. How could you not be being out in that nice weather? Yeah, a study from the University of Waterloo found that being in a foul mood at work can be a good thing. Researchers say it can help people better mentally play with ideas and can boost their ability to get things done. Why is this? Well, negative moods promote an analytical thinking style that's well suited to problem solving. Psychology experts say this is particularly true for so-called highly reactive people, those that have a rapid and intense emotional response. It's less true for mellow-headed people. So basically, Christina, moody people do better at work when they're in a mood. That's what the takeaway from this study is. Okay, so I'm going to have to try and be a little bit grumpier at work. I'll remember that. No, that's impossible for you now. Come on. It's a Filipino fast food chain that's generated a ton of interest here in the city. Jollibee is opening another GTA location. Yeah, a lot of interest in this. Now, they opened 2 stores in Winnipeg a year ago, and then they opened one at Kennedy in the 401 in April, and they've been lining up every day for that one. We're looking here at the newest one. This is in Mississauga. It's going to open its doors at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we caught up with some people there who are planning to get up early to be in attendance.
I heard about like the hype in the Scarborough Jollibee, and then I was like, oh, like Jollibee's coming to Saga. So basically, tomorrow we have work at 8, so we're gonna line up here at like 4 a.m. Get some good Filipino spaghetti. It's a good restaurant, and I like their chicken a lot. So yeah, and also it's in Heartland, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty packed tomorrow. So. Gotta get there early. Growing up in the Philippines as a little kid, I remember my dad taking me and my brother
out for Jollibee every weekend, you know, and then when I came here, I was like, no Jollibee? Really? I don't want to go there. Let's go back to the Philippines. Yeah, so for me, it's just a nostalgia feeling and the fried chicken.
So, Christina, this is the 4th store in Canada, but they're promising to open 100 over the next 5 years. So you're going to see a lot of Jollibees.
Well, I'll have to give it a try. It's a phenomenon sweeping across the local culinary business. Big kitchens serving up lots of food, but with no dining rooms or customers coming in.
It's crazy. They're called ghost kitchens, and there's a growing number of them here in Toronto. They pump out a lot of food, but as you say, nobody's coming into the restaurant. It's in response to food delivery apps like Uber Eats. A lot of these big kitchens, they advertise as several different restaurants on Uber Eats, but in reality, there's no restaurant, and all the food comes out of a central kitchen. George Kotis owns 15 restaurants here in Toronto, but none of them have a dining room. Take a look.
Every one of these is an individual restaurant. It all comes from the same kitchen, but they're actually, if you go online, you will see them as individual restaurants. So this is breakfast, this is shawarma, this is Pepe's Pierogies, a proteinery. So you can consider it almost like a catering kitchen, where you have one kitchen, you get the order, you make the order, send it out. The beauty of it is we can focus primarily just on the food and the quality and the service of the food, and we don't have to worry about customer service and all, which is a great thing as well to have the customers in the service, but we'd like to focus on the quality of the food and focus just on the delivery aspect of the business.
It's a fascinating new business model, Christina. Everyone loves their Uber Eats, and you're seeing a response now by these companies who create just a central kitchen. The only problem, he says, is training his staff to come up with all these big assortment of dishes that they have to cook.
Technology leading to lots of new innovation. Thanks so much, Richard.